This program is brought to you by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC.
This is NDDC Today.
One of the banes of most tertiary institutions in the country, and indeed the Niger Delta region, is the lack of adequate hostels to accommodate the teeming number of youths who gain admission into these institutions every year. Several of these students either have to live off campus and commute long distances every day to get to their campus, or several of them cramping into one room, sometimes as many as 10 students to a single room that should ordinarily take 4 persons. The NDDC for the past 17 years has continued to assist tertiary institutions in the Niger Delta through the construction of prototype hostel accommodations in these institutions. One of such institutions is set to benefit from this infrastructural gesture from the NDDC. Find out details of these and other stories in today's edition of NDDC Today. I am Adobe Alex Oni. Welcome. The University of Uyo is set to have a brand new students' hostel accommodation, courtesy NDDC, which is constructing a 1,000-bed space prototype hostel in the institution. As we speak, finishing touches are being carried out on the complex in readiness for its commissioning anytime soon. Our correspondent visited Akwa Ibom State recently, where he brought us update report on the construction of the hostel and also other projects being executed by the NDDC in the state as well as River State.
The Niger Delta Development Commission has over the years built hostel accommodation for some of the universities in the Niger Delta region to ease the challenge of accommodation for undergraduate and postgraduate students and provide them with conducive learning and living conditions within the school. In furtherance of this gesture, the NDDC is on the verge of completing the construction of another student hostel accommodation in the University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. The commitment of the NDDC to complete the 1,000-bed space hostel at the permanent site of the University of Uyo, otherwise known as Uni-Uyo, is in line with the Commission's desire to impact positively on the lives of the people of the region. Construction of the students' hostel, which has now reached an advanced stage, is a first of its kind in the region and will accommodate 500 bed spaces for males and 500 bed spaces for their female counterparts. It would include recreational spaces with ample parking area as well. The scope of work carried out here includes an embankment with flood control works around the university prototype hostel complex, a parking lot, landscaping works, stone pitching works, and the provision of an asphaltic access road to the hostel facility. Work has reached an advanced stage, and this includes site clearance, construction of drains and culverts along the road, with trapezoidal drains which are 100% complete, pavements, surfacing and earthwork with interlocking are 40% and 98% complete respectively, while the access stairway is 55% complete. The reinforcement concrete drain around the building with walkways is 80% complete. The construction of this 3-floor building made up of 175 rooms is almost complete with the roof, windows and doors in place. Works on the painting and decorations, mechanical and electrical installations, fixed furniture and fittings are also being concluded. There is also the provision of double bunk and single bunk beds with mattresses and pillows.
We are going to have 1,000 beds. That 1,000 comprises the male and the female. We'll have 500 for male, 500 for female. And we have the rooms, the fan, everything inside of each room is being, at the end of the day, will be well furnished for the students.
When completed, the hostel accommodation is expected to be the delight of the students, including their parents as well as the school management. The concern here is the maintenance of the facility by the school authority, as expressed by this engineer.
My advice to the school authority is they should cultivate the habit of maintenance. They shouldn't wait for things to go totally bad before they fix it. They should have a maintenance officer that will be stationed here so that any little faults the person notices, the person will make a report and then it should be fixed as soon as they make a complaint.
It is expected that with the construction of this hostel in the University of Uyo, a quantum leap for the students' accommodation challenges on the campus would have been significantly resolved, as more students will now reside in the school. This will in turn bring about a reduction in time and money spent by the students transiting between the school and off campus.
That's actually the idea, to reduce the number of students staying outside campus because of security at most. So as a parent coming here to drop off your kid or to pick your kid or to visit your kid and you see this type of structure, you see this type of well-furnished room, I mean, every parent will be happy about this.
There's a different way to get to school from my campus. You can use the normal taxi, the bus, from the distance of my school to here, which is 100 naira, and you can use the bus shuttle. As a human being, I would love to be in a place like this. So like, I feel so good that the NDDC people are working very hard and the government and everything. So I feel so happy to see this.
NDDC is trying to create a very big impact and awareness for the Nigerian students, so we can also, if they are not okay with their homes, this is a comfort place for them to stay.
The siting of the hostel within the university campus will also facilitate a conducive learning environment for the students.
With this view of the hostel, I would say like it's very, very nice, because one thing about academics, like good environment is very, really important as a student, you understand? So with this kind of hostel and environment you have there, I would say it's an excellent one, sir.
I want to say a very good kudos to the NDDC for bringing up such thing like this, just to help the students to be able to stay and have a good serene environment for them to have their good learning. And maybe staying in here is going to help them to, maybe let's say, stay here, they can read, and the electricity and everything that are being included in the hostel is going to give them a very good environment for them to have a nice learning.
Still on the provision of infrastructure, the Niger Delta Development Commission has commenced the construction of its model permanent office complex for Akwa Ibom State. This is in line with the Commission's desire to have each state in the region have their own office completed and put to use. The building will provide adequate office accommodation for its workforce in the state, with the huge work profile it has to contend with in fulfillment of its mandate. This will also allow the NDDC channel the resources being invested on rented apartments into core operations, with its mandate of providing infrastructure to improve the living conditions of the people of the Niger Delta region. Construction of the NDDC Permanent Office Complex model in Akwa Ibom State started in 2012, but due to lack of ample space for the project, the construction was stopped, and the Commission requested the government of Akwa Ibom State for another location, which was subsequently granted, and construction finally began in 2018. The complex is a three-story building of 26.3 by 26.4 meters. It will comprise of a conference hall, a staff canteen, a sick bay, offices, a residential building, and gatehouse with a generator house, and so on. The status of work carried out so far is roughly about 14% and still ongoing.
We are at the first floor stage now. We are doing the form work. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be casting the first floor slab and we'll continue with the job.
Delay on the project execution can be attributed to some factors as analyzed by the project engineer.
And because of the size of the land that we have there cannot contain the project, so they have to buy another land and move forward here. And that's the first challenge that we have. And since 2018, the project was stopped because of the financial issue that we are having. But thank God for the present administrator. They have solved the problem. So we are back to the set now.
The cooperation being shown to the contractor on this project by the Atan Opok community, where the project is situated, has aided the smooth progress of work, even as the community liaison officer pleaded for more projects to be facilitated by the commission in their community.
I'm pleading with the NDDC to come to our aid in this community. We lack electricity and water supply and access road.
Away from building construction, roads construction is another major developmental infrastructure for the people of the oil-producing states in the country. It is even more important when the network of roads connect one community to another, as it becomes the basis for commerce and trade and bridges the gap between cultures, especially in the Niger Delta region. In line with this, the NDDC has completed the construction of the Eket-Uruko Road in Eset-Eket and Uru-Ofong-Uruko local government area. The road cuts across 2 local government areas. The project is 100% complete and covers a road distance of 6.4 kilometers long, with double side drains running parallel to the road to help take water off the road whenever it rains. Prior to the NDDC intervention on this road, what used to be here in the past was unmotorable and begged for attention from governments and other interventionist agencies.
I want to tell you the history of this road. It was too bad, it was impossible, people could not pass here. It was worse during the rainy season.
The road, which cuts across several communities, now provides easy access for inter-community and interstate movement. Agricultural produce is now transported with ease through the road to other parts of the country.
We don't have any other handwork here other than agriculture, planting of crops. And this road will assist our people in taking their crops to the market. There is a big market here. The big market is where which people come to buy things. The road will also assist people in coming.
The communities of Edok, Uruko and Etebi are grateful to the NDDC for a job well done on the road, as it now serves as the fastest route for them to visit other communities, and it also enables their children to attend schools far from their homes.
The most important thing is our student, the student of our community. You know, before they will walk from Urungbo down to this school, they will be trekking, and you see their clothes and their sandals full of mud. But now they can, in short, 2 minutes from Urungbo to Etebi High School. So I really say thank you to NDDC for awarding this contract to us.
From Akwa Ibom, we move to River State, where the NDDC has commenced work on the New Haven Estate roads in Rupa Wodoshi, new layout in Opiakpo local government area. Although the project is still ongoing, it has in no small way brought relief to residents of the estate who before now had to put up with a swampy and dilapidated state of their roads before the NDDC intervention. For now, their hope for a better and accessible estate road has been rekindled.
Incredible, beautiful. That's the way it should be. We're impressed.
It's a fantastic arrangement, and the road is fantastic. The work going on is fantastic. It will kind of boost development in the whole of this place.
Highlighting the scope of work done on this road, the project coordinator stressed that the quality of work carried out meets the required specification. He noted that the construction of this road has now brought about an increase in price of landed properties in the area.
This is a good one. This is a good example of having to provide the needs of people. Because you can see, just this road alone has increased the value of properties around here by at least 30%. Made life a lot easier. If they're applying to put street lights here, and you see you have turned here into another GRA. I mean, that's small but mighty.
Speaking on how the request of the residents of Rukpakoloshi new layout for the NDDC intervention in their domain was achieved, the Deputy Director in the Commission's Project Management Department said the Commission takes pleasure in the transformation of the Niger Delta region.
Right now you can see that the place is transformed. We take pleasure in transforming the region. That's our mandate, one of our core mandates. And once we come into an environment like this and we transform the environment and we see excitement in the faces of the inhabitants, that's when the deal had been done. So that's the reason they cried to us and we came to their plight. And I thank God that the contractor is cooperating and we are delivering this project to the community.
Some of the residents of the estate gave the impression on the work done so far by the contractor.
Nigerians appreciate good things, and when you are doing a good thing, people come around and hail you. That's the culture. So people are supporting because they are seeing genuine work going on.
You guys are doing an amazing job. I love it because even before now, we the residents, we cannot move freely to our house, but now I think we can even sleep while moving.
Since the commencement of work on the project, there has been an improvement in the socio-economic activity in the area, and the peaceful disposition of the community has also contributed immensely to the progress of work on the project.
As you saw in that report, it really does not take much to put smiles on the faces of the people, especially when they know that their basic needs are being provided by the relevant government agencies, in this case, the NDDC. And now moving on, another institution that has benefited immensely from the NDDC through its provision of hostel accommodation for its students is the Imo State University Owerri, where the NDDC commissioned a modern prototype hostel in 2004. Recently, a delegation from the Alumni Association of the institution came calling at the corporate headquarters of the commission in Port Harcourt, getting ready to confer a meritorious award for corporate governance on the NDDC Director Corporate Affairs, Dr. Ibitoye Abosade. Our correspondent brings us that report.
60% of Niger Deltans are youth. About 2 million of these youths are students in tertiary institutions spread across universities and polytechnics in the Niger Delta. In this highly modernity-conscious region, education is an industry. People here feel utterly irrelevant without it. As a result, its higher institutions are packed full year in, year out with as many unadmitted as many are admitted. Pressure on higher education facilities here are on the Richter scale. Accommodation the most visibly hit. This scene tells the typical story of higher institution accommodation facilities in the Niger Delta, with packed rooms, failed toilet facilities, a claustrophobic nightmare, a breeding ground for all sorts of deviant and immoral behavior. In 2004, the NDDC awarded contracts for the construction of 19 prototype hostel projects in 17 universities across the 9 states of the Niger Delta. In July 2013, the NDDC prototype hostel project at the Imo State University Owerri became the first to be completed and commissioned. it all emerged at a colorful ceremony. The project was the first hostel for students on the university campus. The Mega Hostel project has 176 rooms with a capacity of over 500 bed spaces, including bed spaces for physically challenged students. The hostels each come with wardrobes, fans and air conditioners, 36 bathrooms and toilets, an administrative block with offices, stores, a supermarket, a cyber cafe and games room with a student's common room. The project bill also includes waterworks with a 20,000-litre overhead tank, a surface tank and a water treatment plant. In December 2013, the NDDC prioritized the completion of ongoing projects. The fast-track projects received the necessary attention in terms of funding and supervision. This led to the completion and commissioning within weeks of the hostel project at the Federal University of Technology, Obinze, Owerri, early in February 2014. In the following month, March 2014, the NDDC was at the University of Benin for the commissioning and handing over of the University of Benin hostel complex. The NDDC was not done yet with hostel commissioning for that year, as at November, the completed Delta State University Abraka hostel project was commissioned and handed over to the institution, making it the fourth of the fast-tracked projects. In July 2015, the prototype hostel at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Akwa Ibom State, and the Michael Okpara University, Umudike in Abia State were commissioned and promptly handed over to the universities. The River State University of Science and Technology is also one of the beneficiaries of the over 500-bed modern hostels built and delivered by the NDDC. This magnificent edifice is divided into 3 floors, with all rooms furnished with beds, mattresses, pillows, ceiling fans, wardrobes, electrical fittings, reading tables and chairs. 2 rooms share a bathroom and toilet facilities, while rooms for disabled students are all en suite. All the students need is just to move in with clothing and books. Recently, the Niger Delta Development Commission reaffirmed its commitment to assist universities and polytechnics in the Niger Delta region by providing basic infrastructure in their various campuses. This affirmation was made recently by the NDDC Director Corporate Affairs, Dr. Ibitoye Abosede, during a courtesy visit by a delegation from the Alumni Association of Imo State University at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt. He thanked the Alumni Association for recognizing his contributions to learning through NDDC and nominating him for a meritorious award for corporate governance. Abosede noted that the NDDC has executed many projects in Imo State, including a modern hostel at the Imo State University, Owerri. He said that the Commission will soon inaugurate a similar 1,000-bed students' hostel at the University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State.
While we are simply now to commission like Uyo, University of Uyo only still have studied. We are trying now to see if we can commission the next. So we should commission 2 in Rivers, 1 in Delta, 1 in University of Benin.
Speaking earlier, the National President of the Imo State University Alumni Association, Mr. Ferdinand Eziala, said the association is getting ready for its annual convention in Port Harcourt on October the 30th. He said the association will use this occasion to honor some deserving individuals and corporate organizations by presenting different categories of awards to them. In this wise, he said the NDDC Director Corporate Affairs, Dr. Abosede, will be honored for excelling in corporate governance.
We have sent you a letter as an association nominating you for a merit award for corporate governance of the Imo State University Alumni Association.
Isiala, who was accompanied by the National Secretary of the Alumni Association, Dr. Anyo Uhiara, commended the efforts of the NDDC in building the capacity of universities in the Niger Delta region. He observed that one way the association can contribute in building synergy between the universities and the NDDC is to encourage good corporate governance between the institutions that add value to the society.
And one way we can show that we want a synergy as an alumni association with the NDDC is to work with its corporate affairs division to see how we can partner together to give value to the society through bringing back to the Imo State University.
The NDDC showing its support for academic excellence in the Niger Delta through the provision of modern hostels in tertiary institutions in the region. You can bet that several other institutions are also set to benefit from this gesture. Well, that's our package for this week. We hope to bring you more impactful projects and programs of the Commission same time next week. From me and the entire production crew, it's good night.